Angular just changed everything. If you're still using services and behavior subjects to manage state, there's a better way. It's called Signals. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what it is, why it exists, and how to use it in a real project. No theory, just practical code. I'm DevInHyderabad. Before we talk about signals, let's understand the problem they solve. Because if you don't understand the problem, you won't understand why signals matter. Here's what happens in a normal Angular app. You have a component. That component has data. The data changes. Angular needs to update the screen. But here's the issue. Angular doesn't know exactly what changed, so it does the only thing it can. It checks everything. Every single component in your entire app. Every binding. Every expression and every template. On every click. On every key press. On every timer tick. This process is called dirty checking. And when your app is small, it's fine. But when your app grows, when you have 50 components, 100 components, dirty checking becomes your performance nightmare. Your app slows down, your users feel it, and you have no idea why. That's the problem signals solve. So what exactly is a signal? A signal is a reactive value that Angular can track automatically. When a signal changes, Angular knows exactly which part of your UI depends on it. And it updates only that part, nothing else. Not the whole component tree, not every binding, just the exact piece that needs to change. And think of it like this. Before signals, Angular is that employee who doesn't know what their task is, so they redo everything from scratch every time. With signals, Angular is a smart employee who knows exactly what changed and does only that specific job. The difference is massive. Now let me show you what a signal actually looks like in code. Without signals, you write a plain variable. With signals, you wrap it in the signal function. That one change, and now Angular is watching that value. The moment it changes, Angular updates the screen instantly. No Zone.js, no change detection cycle, no performance hit. Just change happens, screen updates. Done. Signals have 3 core functions you need to know. And I promise, once you understand these 3, everything else clicks. Number 1, signal. This creates the signal. You give it an initial value. That value can be a number, string, object, array, anything. Number 2, set. This replaces the value completely. You call set with a new value and the signal updates. But there's also update. Update is smarter. Instead of replacing, it gives you the current value and lets you compute the next one. So if your count is 5 and you call update with via +1, it becomes 6. This is way safer than reading and setting separately. Number 3, computed. This is where signals get powerful. A computed value is a signal that derives from another signal. You create a computed signal by passing a function. That function runs automatically whenever the source signal changes. So if count changes, your computed double automatically becomes the new value. You never call it manually. You never subscribe to it. You never clean it up. Angular handles everything, no subscription, no async pipe, no ng on destroy. Just value changes, everything updates automatically. Okay, let me show you a real example. I'm going to build a simple counter component using signals. And then I'll show you the old way so you can see exactly how much code signals remove. The old way, without signals. You create a behavior subject in a service. You inject that service in your component. You subscribe an ng on in it. You store the value in a local variable. You update the template to use that variable. And you unsubscribe an ng on destroy to avoid memory leaks. That's 6 steps for a counter. Now the signal way. You create a signal called count. You create a computed signal called double. You write an increment function that calls update. That's it. 3 things. No service, no injection, no subscription, no cleanup. In your HTML template, you call count like a function to read it. You call double like a function to read it. You bind the button click to increment. The whole component, class and template together, is under 15 lines. The old way was over 40 lines across 2 files. Signals cut your code by more than half. And it's not just less code, it's faster code, more readable code. Code that a new developer can understand in 30 seconds. That's the real power of Signals. Now let's talk about effect. Effect is the fourth signal function, and it's the one most people miss. An effect runs a block of code automatically whenever a signal it reads changes. You don't call it, you don't trigger it. Angular detects which signals are read inside the effect and reruns it every time any of them change. This is perfect for side effects. Things like logging a value to the console, saving data to local storage whenever it changes, calling an API when a filter signal changes, syncing state to a URL parameter. Basically, anything you were doing in ng on changes or in a subscription subscribe callback, you can now do in an effect. But here's an important rule. Don't update a signal inside an effect that reads that same signal. That creates an infinite loop. Effect is for reacting to changes, not for causing more changes. Use computed for derived values. Use effect for side effects. Keep that rule in your head and you'll never have a problem. Let's talk about why this is such a big deal for Angular's future. Angular has always used something called Zone.js. Zone.js is a library that patches every browser event, clicks, timers, promises, HTTP calls, and tells Angular, hey, something happened, go check if anything changed. That's what triggered dirty checking. Zone.js has been in Angular since version 2, and for years, it worked. But it also made Angular heavier, slower to start, harder to debug. Signals changed this completely, because with Signals, Angular doesn't need Zone.js to tell it something changed. The signal itself tells Angular directly, precisely. Angular 18 introduced Zoneless mode. You can now build Angular apps without Zone.js at all. Smaller bundle size, faster startup, better performance on low-end devices. This is not a small update. This is Angular's biggest architectural change since it was rewritten in version 2. And it's all built on Signals. If you learn Signals now, you're ready for the future of Angular. If you wait, you'll be playing catch-up. Now I know what you're thinking. I have an existing Angular app. Do I need to rewrite everything? No. Signals are completely backwards compatible. You can start using Signals in one component today and leave everything else exactly as it is. Angular 18 lets you mix Signals and the old RxJS approach in the same application. There's even a helper called toSignal that converts an observable into a signal, and toObservable that converts a signal into an observable. So you can migrate gradually. Start with your simplest component. Replace the local state with a signal, see how it feels, then move to the next one. No big bang rewrite. No deadline pressure. Just gradual, confident migration. Let's recap everything quickly. Signal creates a reactive value. Set and update. Change that value. Computed derives a new value automatically. Effect runs code when a signal changes, and together, these four things replace most of the RxJS you were writing just for state management. Less code, better performance, easier to understand. That's Angular Signals.